Welcome to this edition of Daily World News. I'm Ajit Chak and with me is Cal Prof. And today we are going to discuss the issue of Pakistan being a victim of terrorism, which is actually something very confusing because Pakistan is known to harbor one of the world's most important terrorists there and should therefore be immune to terrorist attacks, but it is not. Recently, a bomb blast in Pakistan has claimed several lives. Now, this is not the first time this has happened. There have been attacks in schools also in Pakistan in which school children have been butchered by Taliban terrorists. Pakistan houses some of the most notorious and dreaded and wanted criminals from India, like Dawood Ibrahim, like Maulana Masood Azhar, like Maulana Hafiz Saeed of the Jamaat ul-Dawa. All these people are known to be actively involved in bomb blasts in Bombay, attacks in Bombay, and half a dozen other issues. Of late, it seems that the ISI is planning to use Dawood Ibrahim as a front to print fake currency notes of the new variety, the new 1,000 rupee pink currency note, and the new 500 rupee note, and flood them in India, especially in the states like Kashmir, where they will be used to fund discord, disharmony, and terror. But why is Pakistan itself a victim of terrorism? This fact is really hard to understand, and maybe Cal, you can throw some light here.
Well, I think in the case of Pakistan, it's a simple issue of if you jump in bed with, say, the mafia as an example, don't be surprised, or you have no room to complain if the mafia ends up stealing from you. So in the case of Pakistan, we have to remember that they're the ones who bankrolled the early Taliban in Afghanistan. The reason they did that was to mess with India. The original Taliban charter was to, in exchange for money, Pakistani officers would be training Taliban to go across the border to mess with India. The Taliban, however, had their own idea, and it became a bit of an eclectic mixture. Then Al-Qaeda got in there when bin Laden married Mullah Omar's daughter. She became his fourth wife, the one who was at the compound when bin Laden was killed in Pakistan. So the point is, when Pakistan sponsors terrorism, they're going to get bit, they're going to get burned because these are terrorists. So I don't feel sorry for Pakistan when a terrorist strikes back against them. I feel sorry for the victims. But let's be honest, Pakistan is a failed country by choice. If the people were to rise up and truly care about their nation, they would use the power at the ballot box if they can to get rid of these people, get rid of these dictators. They don't do that for reasons which you'd have to ask each individual person. I predict that in Pakistan, this is going to continue. And it's going to be a bit of a setting yourself on fire, and here's why. Increasingly, India is slowly, in fits and starts, doing more of the things needed than it did under the previous administration to stop terrorism. They're cutting off some of the tentacles. That's going to cause frustration among the groups who are just itching to go across the border. So what are they going to do? As we found out in Afghanistan after the Russians left, these jihadis needed something to do. So they turned against the West, the same country, the US, who was fueling them to beat the Russians. So it's like these guys are permanent terrorists. A lot of them are professional mercenaries. They flip back and forth between Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Syria, and Sudan. The same thing's going to happen. Pakistan itself will be undergoing an internal struggle between the military, the more moderate versus right-wing, versus the ISI, which is the most radical element in Pakistan in its government. Then you have a prime minister who's basically a sock puppet. He can't clamp down on the ISI, otherwise he'll end up like Bhutto. So you add all these dynamics together, and you've got nuclear weapons thrown in the mix. There's a group that wants to protect them. There's other people who wish the militants had them. There are some people, and CIA documents prove this, who have schemed to actually lose a nuke that ends up conveniently in the hands of a jihadi, who then goes across the border and blows it up in India. Then they can say, oh, we lost it, it wasn't our fault, we didn't order it, wink, wink. All of this is really bad, and I think it's going to take the world community led ironically by India, to put the pressure on Pakistan to try to rein it in, because maybe the best thing you can do is rein it in, or maybe that's all you can practically do. But right now it is out of control, and of course they're not doing enough to stop it. They're not going to go after the big guys, because they use the big guys to mess with India, which is what this mentality is ultimately about. You know, it's like the hardcores in Iran. They can elect any president they want. He can be moderate, but the real power is Ayatollah Khamenei. He determines who even runs for president. So it's not a real open democracy in that sense. It is a facade for the public. It's a dictatorship, religious theocracy dictatorship. Pakistan has this ISI mentality: go after India at all costs, even if it's going to cause Pakistan to be a viable nation. It's really suicidal.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks. It was quite detailed.
Thank you.